Good morning, beloved ones. Turn to someone and tell them, I am free and I am unlimited. I am free, I am unlimited. Yes. Tell them I'm alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic. Yes. I am alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic. And enthusiastic. So listen to the psalmist. The psalmist said, they're having a love fest over there. All right. Wonderful. I want to get in on that too. But listen to the psalmist. Psalm 57, verse 7 through 11. My heart is confident in you, O God. No wonder I can sing your praises. Wake up, my soul. Wake up, O harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn with my song. I will thank you, Lord, in front of all the people. I will sing your praises among the nations, for your unfailing love is as high as the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the highest heavens, and may your glory shine over all the earth. Wake up, my soul. Wake up, O harp and lyre. This is from Psalm 57, but it's David. And David loved music. David loved to sing. He loved to play his harp. He loved to just give praise in song. And I believe that there's a reason for that, because we're going to talk, because we know that song is vibration, right? And so that's how he expressed, but he loved to do that. He loved to awake to say that he could express his confidence, his trust, and his joy in God, so much so that he knew that he could wake up the dawn with a song. He could get up every day feeling good, feeling so good about himself, feeling so good about the presence and power of God at work in his life that he could just get up and sing. Now, wouldn't you love to be able to awaken each day to greet each dawn, or awaken by singing praises to God? Doesn't matter whether you have a voice or not, but wouldn't you like to be able to get up each day and awaken by praising God and being thankful, feeling so good because you know that everything is all right. Everything is in divine order. That there's a permanent and an abiding peace and a joy that remains within you regardless of what is occurring or going on around you. Now, that's a power and a presence that we really want to be able to experience, to get up. Wake up, my soul. Wake up, O harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn with my song. Well, friends, I'm always telling you that indeed we are in a time of awakening. That this is a precious moment for all of humanity, because we have the blessed and the sacred opportunity to wake up and to move into a new expression in life. You hear me talk so often about us coming into a different vibration. In fact, we are in the dawning of a new age. We've heard the song, right? This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It is. We're in the baby stages of this new expression that is giving birth and being born into our life expression. And we are here at the beginning of it, right? At a time in which we're going to begin to show up differently on the planet. And yes, I know that there are wars and rumors of war, as the Bible said that there would be in this time. And yes, I know that people are still expressing in some pretty nasty ways with negative behavior. But it is always darkest before the dawn. That's all right. They say that the darkest part of the night is just before dawn. And so these things that we see occurring are just the last vestiges of humanity trying to hold on to the old way of being. Humanity is trying to hold on to the way things used to be. It is fear of change and growth and transformation being magnified. You know, it's sort of that, ooh, things are happening. And so we see this reverse process of negative expression. But it's just simply fear being magnified, fear of change, fear of transformation. But change and grow, we must, and we are. We are in this very minute. In fact, it is happening right now. It is happening. It's already happening to many, many people across the planet. And it's probably happened to some of you right here, right now, that you are experiencing something different. You are actually awaking. And the shift that you are experiencing in consciousness, it's so subtle that you might not even recognize that you indeed have shifted into a wonderful state of awakening. See, there's a misconception and there's a misperception about what awakening is all about. So sometimes we think that it's only for the spiritual adepts, or that maybe it's only for the high priests and the ministers or the yogis, right? Or the masters of some kind. But the truth of the matter is, and the good news is that it is for the ordinary, common, everyday layperson like you and me. This is our time, and it is for us, whether it's lawyers or the doctors or the bankers or the garbage workers or the custodians or the teachers or the nurses, the accountants. It is for everybody. Can you imagine a world where the banker is enlightened? Or perhaps the teachers are awakened, right? Or your doctors are truly awake so that they're operating on a different level and a different vibration? What about the custodians? When they're cleaning from a whole different consciousness. See, it's not just some mystical world that we're trying to envision. It's going to be a world that is transformed by each of us. Because we really are the ones, friends, who will bring about this change. We really are the ones that are going to do it, one person at a time, each one touching one, each one transforming one, each one healing one. And that's the way it's going to work. See, we keep thinking somebody else is going to do it. The Pope or the president or somebody right in high authority. You're the appointed one. You're the appointed one. I'm the appointed one. It is us. Because see, when we each awaken, we will awaken others. When we experience a raised consciousness, we will raise the consciousness of others. When we are vibrating on a different level, on a higher frequency, we raise the vibrations of others. That is the way that it works, friends. When we do it, others get to experience it. And what happens is, the more people awaken, then the faster the energy is going to show up, and the more powerful the energy will become, and it will grow exponentially. So it starts off slow, one person awakens, but you awaken, and by the time it gets old, it's like, whoo, it starts picking up. And before you know it, humanity will have moved and shifted into a higher vibration, into a new expression. That's some powerful stuff that we're talking about, but it's happening right now. Right now, and I'm so excited about it because I can feel it happening in me. And when it happens in me, it's going to happen in you. When it happens in you, it's happening in me. Now, some of you know that I have been collecting these wonderful sayings. I call them spiritual sayings, but they're just positive sayings that I find on Facebook. And Facebook has become my new resource. there's some good stuff on. There's some crazy stuff, but there's some good stuff on there. And so I've been saving these, and I keep saying that I'm going to post them at the beginning of every service, so when you come in, you'll be able to see one of these things, whatever it is, whatever the thought is for the day. But I ran across one, and it's titled The 12 Symptoms of Spiritual Awakening. Now, while I don't really like the word symptoms, but I used to say 12 signs, because it sounds like spiritual awakening, some kind of illness that we have to recover from, you know, and actually it's going to heal the illness that we're experiencing, right? So, but anyway, 12 symptoms of spiritual awakening. And so I read the list and looked over it, and the symptoms surprisingly do indeed match what some persons who have shared, who have shifted into another level of being, who have sort of awakened. And again, it's not just big woo-woo thing. It's just simply a shift in consciousness. But they are saying that that what they are experiencing amounts to some of the things in this list. So I thought we would take a look at the list and see if we can find ourselves on it or in the process of it. And if not, at least we could know what it would look like, so we could recognize, well, I do that, I feel that, I experience that. And what I want us to understand is that, we all have had moments and glimpses of awakening, because that's just the way that we are. But we move in and out, move in and out. And what we're looking to do is have a permanent state of consciousness. See, I don't want the ups and downs anymore. I want to be in a permanent state of consciousness, a permanent shift. Because when your consciousness, when you really experience a shift in your consciousness, one that is permanent, then your behaviors, your actions, your perceptions will also shift. See, so right now we have it, but we revert back to the old. We do a little new, and we go back to the old way. Do a little, we heal a little bit, and then we unheal, and so it's all this in and out. But when there's a real shift and change, you all of a sudden you begin to respond differently. You will show up differently, and you will respond with more grace and more ease. All of your interactions will be filled with grace and ease, and there'll be a flow. So I thought I'd start with the list, and let me see if I could read. I'll read, and I'm only going to do 6 today because it's too many to do 12. We'll do next week. We'll do the other 6. But this is the list that it says, and I think Tracy said, thank you, Tracy. So she's so wonderful, because I came at the last minute. So I want to put this list up here. So here she's got it. Give Tracy some love and some support for that. So it says here, number 1. When you awaken, there will be an increased tendency to let things happen rather than make them happen. Number 2, when you awaken, you will experience frequent attacks of smiling. When you awaken, feelings of being connected with others and nature. You will have feelings of being connected with others and nature. Number 4, you will experience frequent, overwhelming episodes of appreciation. 5, you will have a tendency to think and act spontaneously rather than from fears based on past experiences. And 6, there will be an unmistakable ability to enjoy each moment. Now, on the surface, these look light, but I want to take them a little deeper to see what is the spiritual and energetic meaning of each of these, even though they appear to be quite simplistic. So the first one states, the first symptom is that you will have an increased tendency to let things happen rather than make them happen. And I thought, boy, what a relief. Woo, thank goodness, but especially for us truth students, because we really have taken to heart the notion of being a co-creator, right? I mean, we all hear that, right? And we take that serious. I am a co-creator with God. And we take it to the level so much so that we feel that, it might not happen unless we really do make it happen, right? And so we kind of fail on the co-creator part and maybe even move God out of the picture a little bit, right? Because that's what ego is, edging God out. And we've now edged God out, and now we're going to make it happen. Until such time that we see that it's not happening. And then we return to God and say, okay, God, come on in. Your turn. And God was like, it was my turn all along, but okay. So what will happen is that when you awaken, however, you easily and comfortably live under grace. And I'm saying living under grace because grace is always available. But we begin to live under grace. You're in the flow. And all of a sudden, you're in the flow of letting, and letting becomes very natural for you. You'd rather let it happen than to try to make it happen. It's not about what can I do to make you, just like, I'm going to let this happen. Whatever it is, you see. So if you find that you are efforting a little too much, then that means that you're still asleep. You're still asleep because you are thinking you must do it. You're efforting. It's too much. So when you are awakened, there's an action. Actions naturally arise. They arise from within you. You're not sitting there figuring out, what can I do to make this right? It arises. It comes out from naturally and easily within you. Your efforts are effortless. Less effort, friends. If you're trying, you're still asleep. When you awake, there is no trying. What did Yoda say? You just do what there's just being. And the doing comes out of your being. Very naturally, very easily. You let things come and you don't have to make them come. So that's the first symptom. Number 2 says that you will have frequent attacks of smiling. And I love this symptom because I've been practicing it actually. I have been practicing it lately as a way to shift myself into another vibration or a higher vibration. And smiling is powerful. And I didn't realize how powerful it was until I started to use it as a spiritual discipline, as a spiritual practice, friends, because it is as powerful as praise and thanksgiving and gratitude. And we know those are powerful expressions, right? And it's powerful because the moment you do it, it raises your vibration. The moment you do it, it raises and changes your vibration. Let's try it right now. I want you to look at somebody right now and just smile at them. Just as many people as you can, just smile. Just smile. You don't even have to talk, just smile. Now, didn't the vibration in this room change? See, it has to. It's so powerful because when you smile, you're raising, you're changing your vibration, and you're bringing that joy comes in automatically. And joy is a high vibration. Joy is a spiritual energy. So the moment you begin to smile, that joy just kind of comes in. And the good news is you can't feel anger or upset while you're smiling. Try to do that. Oh, I just can't. I hate what's happening. You can't do it, right? You cannot be angry and smile at the same time. So the moment you do that, your face goes like this, the energy changes. Else you're going to look like the Joker, So there's something powerful in the ability to smile. And you can smile at any time. You can change your vibration at any time. You can lift yourself out of any experience at the doldrums by just smiling. Here's another thing. Try meditating with a smile on your face, because it will automatically move you into a higher consciousness, a higher state, very easily and quickly. Sometimes you think, well, I got to meditate and be still thoughts and it's again, we're efforting, right, in our meditation. Be quiet, be still. Oh no, get out of there, So relax. Try smiling while you're meditating. It's very powerful. I'm serious with this. Just put a smile on you. Sit there and just smile. As you begin to quiet, it will move you into a higher state very easily. See, the good news is that as you begin to awaken, you're going to smile frequently and easily. And what will happen is, which is going to keep your vibration high. When you awaken, you'll start smiling more, your vibration is going to increase. And again, when you are established in a higher vibration, things begin to flow without effort. That's the beauty. Number three says, when you awaken, feelings of being connected with others and nature. You'll experience this thought of feeling connected to others and nature. Now, this is a beautiful symptom to have, because when you are awakened, you'll begin to simply feel your oneness with others. Now, this may sound very light and very woo-woo-ish and foo-foo-ish and warm and fuzzy, and that's okay, because those things, just because it's warm and fuzzy or light, doesn't mean that it's not true and powerful, okay? So, this is what people get us on a new thought or whatever, because they say, oh, you guys are so woo-wooey and touchy-feely and all. That's fine. Woo-woo works. So, it's okay, right? Woo-woo works sometimes. But it will actually, as you begin to feel this connection, it'll actually allow you to no longer see the other as separate, or to see the other as an enemy. You'll see them as yourself. Now, this one's a high teaching. This is a high expression, right? Because this will do wonders for the cessation of wars and this desire to protect your territory. A lot of wars come about because we're all trying to protect our turf and our territory. Somebody's moving into our space or trying to get our space. And when you begin to feel this connection, this oneness with everyone, what will happen is you're not going to want to protect your particular territory. You'll begin to protect the entire earth. You'll see the earth as your territory. It's everybody's territory. And what will happen is all of a sudden, what will happen is that the statement that Jesus made when he said that you are to love your enemies will become possible. It won't seem so foreign to you. And soon you'll begin to see no man as an enemy. You'll see them just as a soul who is still asleep. That's all. If I could remember that, when someone is getting on my last nerve, this soul is asleep. And if I react to them, it means what? That I'm asleep too. So try to remember, asleep. And so what will happen then, rather than try to annihilate that soul, all of a sudden you will be moved to try to awaken that soul. Big difference. When we awake others. When we awaken, we awake others. No more annihilation, but the need for awakening. That's the solution. The fourth one says this. When you spiritually awaken, or when you just awaken, or you have a shift in consciousness, it says that you will experience frequent, overwhelming episodes of appreciation. Now, the Apostle Paul admonished us to do what? He said to count it all as what? Joy. Count it all as joy. And when we heard that or read that in the scriptures, we might have said, not possible. Sorry, Paul, cannot do. But when you awaken or have this shift in your perception and shift in your being, you begin to see everything as being connected and part of the whole. Everything. And when that happens, then you'll be able to appreciate everything, because you're living now in a state of gratitude and appreciation and praise, because you see the connection to everything. You see everything as a whole. It's life. It's the journey of life. It is our process. And you begin to see this sense of oneness. And when you do that, you begin to feel grateful. You can have appreciation. You can count it all joy, because that's the vibration that you're living on. Right? That's the vibration that you have. That's the vibration that you are tuned into, because then you really do see it all as good. Right now we all go around saying it's all good. And in the back of our heads, we are not, except for this, except for that. But when you're really on that higher vibration, you will begin to see it all as good. You won't fight what is. You won't fight and struggle against what is. You will appreciate it, and you will appreciate it for either the lesson or the blessing. Whatever that experience is, you'll begin to see that it's either a lesson or a blessing. And either way, you can appreciate it. If it's a lesson that you've learned from that experience, you say thank you. If it's a blessing that you got from that experience, you can say thank you. You can live. You'll have frequent, episodes of just appreciation. You will see it all good, and you'll be able to count it all joy, where others are going to count it and name it not so good. You'll be different. Now, the fifth symptom of awakening will really free us up, because it says that we will experience a tendency to think and act spontaneously rather than from fears based on what? Past experiences. Now, it's no secret that for the most part, we live our lives either in the past or sometimes we'll project ourselves into the future, right? And because the past is based on something that we've already experienced, we keep dragging it into the present, right? Because there's something about us, we love to compare. The mind loves to compare, and we love the familiar. We like things that feel familiar, whether it's people or driving home the same way or getting the same food at the grocery store. It's what we know, and we're comfortable with it. But what happens is, because we begin to compare and we want things to be familiar, we get into what? That rut. We get into a routine, and anything that presents itself as new is kind of problematic. Or if we're conditioned in bringing that past, if the past is negative, don't let it be a negative experience, because now we will bring that negative expression right into our consciousness, and we will let it color the present situation. So that we no longer now, we don't experience it as something new, we experience it as something experienced and familiar. We fear the new. So when it happens, we try to look for, well, how is this similar? What is this about? Where can I find something that I know about this situation? Then I'm comfortable. But what happens is you then cover the situation. It's the old thing. It's not the new thing. It's hard to experience spontaneity as a result of our habit of living in the past, right? So we've got to figure out a way of how not to bring the past into our present experience. And one of the blessings I think that comes, and it's a major blessing, when we begin to awaken, is that you automatically start to declutch from the mind. There's a loosening of the mind. And you declutch from those automatic triggers, those automatic responses that we've had based on the past. And what happens is you declutch. So when that happens, those automatic triggers begin to be eliminated. And then all of a sudden, you can experience reality as it is, not as it was, or not as you imagine it to be. Because we're always trying to, the mind goes, how was it, and how does this compare to the way things were, and how is this going to happen over here? And we're everywhere but where? Right here, in the moment. So there's only the present moment. And when we allow ourselves to be spontaneous, when you awaken, all of a sudden you're in the now moment. So whatever up, and you can experience it, and the next thing that's up, it's up, and you're not back in the past. What did I do, and how come, and why, and well, but meanwhile, there's something beautiful happening right here. You don't get to experience it because you're either here or there. So when we awaken, we get to experience what is, and we don't have to. And the beauty is, we don't have to name it or label it. We just experience it. And when that's gone, the next experience comes, because life will present us with experience after experience after experience. So you don't have to get hung up in trying to label it and figure it out, and just experience it. Because the beauty is, this too shall pass. It all comes to what? It all comes to pass. So you let it. Experience it, and it moves on to the new thing. Oh, oh. But we go, oh, and or after that old thing. Be there. And the sixth symptom is related to this fifth one. When we awaken, it says that there will be an unmistakable ability to enjoy the moment. You see, when you are no longer attached to your fears or attached to the past or even attached to your dreams and your visions about what you want in the future, all that, but when you can really be in the moment, joy presents itself, right? You'll be in joy. You'll be able to enjoy because you will be in joy. You'll be able to see all your experiences as simply the play of consciousness and not stray from your center of abiding peace. You just know it's the play of consciousness, whatever's going on, but you can remain centered, peaceful, open, receptive, joy-filled in the midst of it. And when I say, that's what I mean when I talk about awakening, it's about feeling and knowing a centeredness, a quiet presence that wells from the heart, that grounds you and yet lets you just be, to experience life in all of its beauty, not being swayed here, not being swayed there, not being turned around, not being confused, not in conflict, not resisting, but being in joy, being in that moment without labeling it. So there's what we call, when you can accept what is, that it is what it is. Let me hear you say, it is what it is. It is what it is. And not have the need to label, but what is it? See? That's the mind. The mind wants to attach, but what is it? It is what it is. It is. And when you can really accept that, there will be an unshakable joy that you experience that's very powerful. So, here's your assignment for this week. I want you to observe yourself, and I want you to see where you are experiencing any of these states of being, and if you are not, then begin to practice them. So you can begin to just let things happen. This week, I want you to let things happen, okay? Smile often. Put that smile. I want you to go out in nature and observe its beauty so that you can feel oneness with it, connected to it. Find something to appreciate, and then be spontaneous. Just be spontaneous. And last but not least, enjoy each moment. So that's your assignment, and if you can do that, then the next 6 are going to be a piece of cake. So I invite you to join us next week. In the meantime, wake up and shift into a new dawn. Namaste. Blessings. Blessings. Namaste.